Welcome to r/entitled people, where we share stories from your lives about people who think the rules don't apply to them and they should get what they want. Thank you, friends, for subscribing to the channel and for so many likes. And today we have 3 great stories, so subscribe, hit the like button, and let's begin. The first story. Guest tried to get me fired on false pretenses, but got herself fired for being an abusive liar and a thief. The second story. A dude stiffed me on the busiest night of the year with a large tab. He came back a month later and ended up accidentally tipping me a quality amount. The third story. Rude client plus father owner equals probation and dismissal. The first story is, guest tries to get me fired for doing my job, admits she's doing it just to be a bee, and the results are highly satisfying. Around mid-morning, an attractive young woman came into the lobby and asked for a key to her cousin's room, who we'll call She Garcia. Cousin, can I get a key to room 207? Me checking. Is Miss Garcia here with you? She sighed loudly and immediately lost her patience. 0 to 60. Badgered me for half an hour. She called someone, who she said was she, but I had no way of knowing, and put that person on speakerphone. Together they badgered me in stereo. Eventually I offered to check the camera footage to see if she was present at check-in. This seemed to me a very generous solution to her problem. A definite gray area loophole, but they didn't see it that way. The one on the phone said, "You're really gonna be that petty? Why can't you just do your job and let my cousin into our room?" Finally sick of the abuse, I snapped back, "Doing my job means your cousin plops down on that couch and waits for you to get back here and let her in. What I'm doing is extra. It's special treatment. I'm being nice, and I don't appreciate the abuse. I don't have to do this for her. In fact, I could get in trouble for it." The cousin took the key, sighed loudly, and walked back to her room without even so much as a sarcastic thank you. That could have been the end of it. 5 minutes later, she came into the lobby. This struck me as odd because I was told she was hours away. Never looking up from her phone, she asked for my name and my supervisor's name, and took the opportunity to slip in a few more derisive remarks. After I said have a nice day with perhaps too much bite, she told me she's gonna try and get me fired because what you did is illegal. Then while I was speechless, she smugly turned on a dime like a model on the runway and strutted back to her room. That could have been the end of it. I called my manager. She was very sympathetic and laughed it off reassuringly. I puzzled over it a while, then grabbed my cell phone, set it to record and took a deep breath, and knocked on She's door. That conversation. Me. Knock, knock, knock. Front desk. She opens the door, holding her cell phone up to her ear, saying something inaudible into it. Me. Hey, so do you want me to call the police and oust this person from your room? She. No. She's actually in the restroom. Me. Is it okay that she's in here? She innocently. Yeah, that's fine. Me. Then why are you upset that I let her in? She talking into the phone. Hold on, is there any way I can call you back or put this on hold or something? Inaudible talking between She and the cousin. My goal was to bait her into saying it's okay for the cousin to be in that room. She walked right into it. At the moment I knocked, she was actually on the phone with Noise Hotels, filing a complaint about me, which is why she says, "Can I call you back?" and gets off the phone as soon as I start asking questions. She followed me back to the desk where we talked a little longer. I asked her to clarify why she was threatening me with firing, and she replied, "I'm just doing it to be a bee." The conversation starts after she gets off the phone with customer support. We're standing at the desk. She. Okay. Long pause. Me. So it's okay that person's in the room? She. That is correct. Me. Then what's the problem? She. The problem is your customer relations. Me. So it's not that I let her into the room, like you threatened me with earlier. She. No, not necessarily. I did that because I'm upset with you, so I'm doing it to be a bee, if you want me to be honest with you. The only reason I recorded this stuff was to defend myself against a write-up or worse. I was content to let the whole thing go. She had her key and filed her complaint, and my manager was on my side. Great. That could very easily have been the end of it. The next day, however, after they check out, housekeeping discovered She and her cousin had stolen all our pillows and left their own raggedy old pillows in the pillowcases. Did they think we wouldn't notice? Naturally, her card declined for the theft. Fine, at least this is the end of it. Nope, 2 days later, whose name do I see in the arrivals list but She Garcia? 2 adults. Oh dear. I called the phone number on file expecting to have it out with her, but it was a man who answered. I told him we'll have to cancel this reservation because She and her cousin are not welcome at the Slum Town Inn. He asked why and I told him the whole story. The key, the abuse, I'm just doing it to be a bee in the pillow swap. I did not mention the recordings. He apologized profusely. Again and again he apologized. He said they put their employees up here all the time and we've always been great. Said he'd talk to her and ended the call. The next day I learned that man had been her boss's boss. He called her supervisor, who called the hotel and spoke with my manager. My manager told him the whole story and mentioned the recordings. Ladies and gentlemen, it saddens me to tell you, she and her pretty cousin were let go. They were fired in a strange city, 1,000 miles from home, in the middle of a business trip. Sad. The second story is the revenge you all seek. Moons ago, I worked in a restaurant located smack dab in the heart of a sunny, popular destination city. Every year, our city would host the Granddaddy Comic Convention, where people dress as their favorite characters from comics to cult films. Literally, the streets would be filled with the most realistic costumes. Hulk, Spock, Goku, Chewbacca, Sailor Moon, Austin Powers, plus celebrity sightings. It was definitely the highlight of my year as a server. People were, for the majority, in a really effing great mood. The nicest hordes of humans you can imagine serving. However, come nightfall, the party people would still relentlessly come out, and our restaurant, like many in this area, would transition from restaurant to club by 10 p.m. My shift usually was the second to last night scheduled, so I would cover all of dinner and help the closer transition into cocktail mode. So it's around 11 p.m. and my shift is over, and I'm excited to just clock off and have some drinks with all these creatures, when my manager asks if I would stay to do a bottle service for just one customer. He promised I wouldn't have to serve any tables, just take this bottle service, as it was a guaranteed $250 sale. Typically, people who do bottle service tip really well. I figured why not? All I'd have to do is my hoochie moves with the bottle delivery, pour up some drinks and then check on them occasionally to make sure they have mixers and ice. Plus, we were allowed to drink on shift. Easy peasy. So the night goes on, and the dude ended up getting another bottle. Nice. Their group ends up staying until close, and when the bill finally came, which my manager actually comped the second bottle in half because he knew our DJ, the dude throws down a bunch of cash, and I'm thinking, cool, cash money, honey. Wrong. He literally left enough to cover the bill with $5 left over. As a server, I wanted to keep my optimism, and think he will just leave the rest of the tip when I bring him his receipt. Wrong. It was over $500 and he left me $5. I was livid. I could have been off 4 hours ago. But now my sales were $500 higher, and I have to give the bar $50 of my money, because they get 10% of our liquor sales. I was fuming at my manager, and he genuinely felt awful, but because he was friends with our DJ, he felt comfortable enough to approach him and tell him that $5 was really insulting as a tip. Remember, I've been busting my A through hordes of sweaty costumes since 5 p.m. It is now 3 a.m. So the dude gives my manager a 20. FML. Whatever, I take the loss and just learn my lesson. Anywho, fast forward to a month later. This A-hat decides to come back on a night that I'm actually closing. He gets bottle service again and my mood just took a nosedive, because I know I'm gonna get screwed again. The night ends and this dude is pretty tossed. I'm trying to bust and clean while he and his friends finish their drinks, since they were my only tab left. The dude comes up to the bar that I was cleaning off and asks me, "How much do I owe you?" I give him his bill and now he starts asking me in a condescending and drunkenly way, "What tip would make you feel better?" I replied, "I really don't care, just pay the bill." He then began throwing wads of money on the counter. "Take what you want." Ugh, this is so degrading. I repeat that I just want him to pay the bill, and I don't care what else he leaves. So my general manager pops her head out and asks me if all my tabs were closed. I told her I was just waiting on Captain D Canoe to figure out how much money he wants to give me. But because we were all on time crunches for OT, she does the most bad A thing. She hangs out next to us while this dude starts with the "How much do you want?" line. She butts in and asks, "Are you ready to close out?" He drunkenly responds, "Yeah, all my money is here." I told her to take whatever she wants. She grabs all the money on the counter and says, "Thank you so much for coming back in again. We really appreciate you." Goes to the back, cashes out his tab and puts the rest in my book. The dude put roughly $500 on the counter. His tab was $150 because we comped his bottle again. Ugh, don't ask. I go to the back since I'm officially done with this tea, and I can hear his girlfriend say, "WTF did you just do?" He didn't argue. He knew he put his foot in his mouth when he realized how much money he put on the counter, and literally said, "Take whatever you want." My manager then goes back out and says how much we appreciate him, and that we're officially closed, and has the bouncers usher him out. It was the sweetest karma I had ever seen play out. My manager asks if I had a good night, and I thank her for that bad A move. The end. And the last story is, I experienced something awesome very early on in my customer service career, and am so sad, because I'm pretty sure that I have a better chance of winning the lottery than of having anything like this happening again. It honestly felt like something out of a movie. Shortly after graduating from high school, I got a job working as a waitress at a local restaurant. It was a pretty popular place, but really boomed during the holiday season. A few days before Christmas, a woman came in wanting to pay for and pick up a phone order. Now, to be clear, there were 7 pages of takeout orders. Each page has about 10 to 13 orders. I ask for the name on the order and she gives me 3, saying that she isn't sure who placed the order and she's just in charge of picking it up. I look through each page and find a few matches. None are the correct order though. As I reach the last page, I tell her that we don't have any more orders with those names, and ask her if there's another that it might be under. At this point, she's visibly annoyed, and gives me another 2 that it might be under. I scroll back to the first page and start searching again. I find another match, but again, it's the wrong order. Now she's actually angry. The conversation goes something like this. Me, I'm so sorry. We don't have any more matches for those names. Her, well, it's gotta be one of them. I don't know why this is so hard for you. Me, maybe it would be easier to search for the order itself. What exactly are you picking up? Her, how am I supposed to know that? I didn't place the order. It's your job to check me out and just get it to me. Why is this so hard for you? Me, well, unless there's another name to search for, I'm not sure what else I can do for you. There were about 75 orders placed for this weekend, and I don't have any other way to know which is yours. Her, are you effing kidding me? It shouldn't be this complicated. Are you stupid or something? You're working a register. Can't be that hard. Me, okay. How about I read the names of each order, and you let me know when something sounds familiar. We can go through each order that way. Her, effing fine. If that's what you have to do your job, then just waste my GD time, I guess. Then she muttered something under her breath that I didn't quite catch. She definitely used the R word, though. I got about halfway through the first page. Me, Company X? Her, yes, that's it. I smile wide, a genuine and true smile ear to ear. Me, oh, do you work at Company X? Her, not that it's any of your business, but yes. Now hurry up. This is taking way longer than it should have. Is it even ready yet? Me, do you know the owner, Mr. X? Her, yes, he's the one who organized the party. Why? Me, that's my dad. Smiling even wider than I thought possible. I'll have to tell him about this. What a small world. Her, the color visibly draining from her face. Me, yup, my dad. Who would have known? I'm actually going on my 30 when I'm done here, but I'll have to give him a call. I'm sure he'll love to hear all about this. Before she had a chance to respond, I turned around to grab her food. I spent the rest of the transaction just positively glowing, basking in her silent panic. Before saying goodbye, have a wonderful day, I'll be sure to tell my dad that you said hi. It was beautiful. I told my dad about it and he was absolutely livid. Mostly about the fact that she would dare to speak to someone in that way, while actively representing the company. He didn't fire her, but she was given a severe warning and was put on probation. She didn't last long though. Less than 2 weeks later, she lost the company a pretty big client by responding very rudely via email. Honestly, I may be biased, but I think that the company is better off without her. Don't forget to subscribe and have a nice day.